All right, if you've been doing barbecue for a while, I'm sure you know what beef tallow is. Everybody is using it, and it is for good reason. It is super important to have when smoking, especially beef. And if you're doing a brisket, I guarantee you are using beef tallow. Now, there's one company in particular, a lot of people use their beef tallow. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's the Chicago South Pacific Wagyu beef tallow. I'm sure you've seen it. I have purchased it. It is great. Now, if you're cooking brisket a lot, I guarantee you will have a good amount of fat trimmings. And when I cook a brisket, I trim off a good amount of the brisket. I'm sure you've noticed that. And the reason is I love using the meat for ground meat, and the tallow is fantastic. And I've seen people do this a lot of different ways. I've seen people take just chunks of beef tallow and throw them right on the smoker and render it down that way. I mean, you can do it that way. I just don't think it's too efficient. So I'm going to show you this way, which works fantastically. So here is some beef fat that is from the trimmings of a brisket I did. Now you can see this is all fat here. And you could throw this in the smoker like some people do. It will render down and you're gonna get smoky tallow, but I don't think it's too big a deal with the tallow. So what we're gonna do is take these chunks of meat and run them through a meat grinder so they are nice and small and they're gonna render down beautifully. So let's go ahead and do that now. So I'm gonna be using this KitchenAid meat grinder attachment. This thing works fantastic. This KitchenAid mixer has a super powerful motor. So all you need to do is get attachment and you have yourself a nice powerful meat grinder. So pretty simple. Go ahead, just throw in your chunks of meat. All right, so that is it for that. You can see now is ground up nice and thin. This is gonna make it super easy to render down. And obviously I have a lot more fat than this. I actually have a ton. So I got myself a big pot to render it all down. So let's go ahead, add this to that, and then we'll heat it up and start rendering down this beef tallow. All right, so here is my pot. See, it's pretty tall. And I got a good amount of beef tallow in there. So I'm doing this outside on my propane heater. The pot is a little small for this, but it will be fine. All right, so we got it all lit up. Now let's just turn it up a little bit. It's a pretty strong heater, so I'm gonna keep it down pretty low. And then we're just going to let this tallow render down. So I'll see you probably in about 25 minutes and I'll show you how it is coming along. All right, so about 25 minutes in, let's check this tallow. You can see it has rendered down quite a bit already. So all I like to do is just come in and mix it up a little bit. And at first it might be a little tough, but once you get here, it's not too bad. So I'm just gonna let this keep going probably for maybe close to an hour. We wanna make sure that we get all the moisture out of here. Then all we'll be left with is some delicious tallow. And we'll have a bunch of little crispy pieces of fat in there. So I'll see you in a little bit when this starts getting closer to being finished. All right, so we're an hour in on this tallow. You can see it is coming along very nicely here. So we still need a little more time on this. You can see all these rendered bits here. I'd say this needs about 15-20 more minutes. So once this is finished, I'm gonna get it pulled off, let it cool down, and then I will see you guys to get it jarred up. All right, so the tallow is all finished up. Now we just gotta get it strained and into some containers. And I have a bunch of these glass jars I'm gonna put this tallow in. So let's go ahead, get the pot, and first we gotta strain out all that cooked fat. So here is our tallow. Smells fantastic. But I got a mesh strainer here. I just want to go in and get as much of this fat out of here. So like I said, you could save this stuff. It is a good topping on a few things. I've actually used it to put on top of some mac and cheese. Came out pretty good. So you can definitely save it if you want. All right, so I still got some more in there. but that should be plenty for now. Then we get our glass jars. Get a smaller strainer here. Just want to keep this balanced here. Then you just go ahead, fill up your tallow. Just like that. Beautiful. Get another jar. Just gonna keep doing this till we are done. All right, there we go. Now we're just gonna get some tops on here. So there we go, beef tallow, super easy. Now I really enjoyed this beef tallow over that Wagyu beef tallow you can buy online. Just the flavor alone is much better. Plus it's homemade, so that is a win. But I hope you guys found this video useful. If you did, make sure to give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe right over here. And if you want to see some of my barbecuing videos, make sure to watch this one right over here. But most importantly, guys, get out there and smoke something good.